seated. Serrano.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're presenting the matter of State of Ohio versus Camber Howler, case number 25-CR000105. The defendant is present in court with defense counsel Corey Hinton. We are here for purposes of a sentencing hearing. We were previously in court on May 27, 2025, where the defendant pled guilty to count 1, an indictment, failure to comply with order or signal of police officer, felony of the 3rd degree, in violation of revised code section 2921.331B. The defendant was found guilty and the court ordered a pre-sentence investigation report, as well as a psychological evaluation. The state has had the opportunity to review those reports and is prepared to proceed with sentencing today. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hinton, is there a stipulation that there was the operation of the vehicle caused a substantial risk of serious physical harm to persons?
Yes, based on the speed and location, Your Honor, there is.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. In this particular situation, you know, my client is a young individual, 20 years old, has a history, but it basically dates back to when he was a juvenile, and he was sentenced to DYS, and in DYS he picked up a felony when he was an adult. The reason that that charge, that assault was a felony, was because it occurred against an individual worker at the DYS. The reason I bring this up is because there's not a whole lot of an adult record other than this charge that arose as a result of being adjudicated a delinquent. In this particular situation, it's my understanding that the parole authority is going to be requesting that Mr. Howler complete his prison term, which I think is approximately 150 days. I know that he certainly wants to get all this behind him and be able to return home to his family, whom is here as soon as he's able to. With that said, what we'd be asking is for the court to place him on community control sanctions, and then after he finishes up his prison time based on parole, he would be under the supervision of this court for purposes of community control. There would be time hanging over his head. In the alternative, what we would ask the court to render is a sentence that's on the lower end of the spectrum for this type of charge. In other words, a 9-month sentence. I think that that would be appropriate. I think that there's a lot of rehabilitation needed for Camber to try to prevent this type of behavior in the future. I know his main concern, again, is getting home to his family as soon as possible, so we would ask the court to render a sentence accordingly. Thank you.
What do you have to say?
I know that I made a mistake coming back to jail. I should never left the house.
Speak up, I can't really hear you.
I should never left the house in the first place, because
I still can't hear you.
I know I should have never did what I did, because I knew I had a suspended license and I shouldn't have been driving, and I regret doing that. And I'm just trying to get home as fast as I can.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from DoorDashing.
It was 1:30 in the morning. Who were you door dashing for? What restaurant or what? I mean, what's open at 1:30 in the morning?
It was basically just Sheets.
People get door dashed from Sheets? Why didn't you have any shoes on or any pants?
Well, I did have pants on and I had some slides, but the slides fell off in the car.
So why were you wearing slides when it's like 20 degrees out in January?
I was in the car.
Huh?
I was in the car.
Whose car was it?
rehearsed.
Right. So what? What am I supposed to do with you? You gotta talk, okay? I don't know shit about you, okay? Other than you've had a shitty upbringing because you had asshole parents, including a stepfather, okay? What is it you wanna do with yourself?
I want to be there for my family.
What does that mean? How are you gonna be there with your family when you're running around going 116 miles an hour on Liberty Street?
At the time, I didn't have a job, so I want to come home and get a job, and then just basically take care of my kid. That's my only responsibility.
How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna take care of somebody when you can't take care of yourself? Because you can't take care of yourself. Yeah, what?
I had a hard time just doing what I can to stay out of trouble, and I understand that. And until I had my son, I didn't know how to live correctly. Now I have a purpose, and I want to make it right.
Okay, but this offense occurred when he was 2 months old.
Yes, sir.
So why did this offense occur? If what you just told me is true, why did this offense even occur?
When it happened, I got scared, and I couldn't stop because I just wanted to get home.
Scared of what?
Coming back to jail.
Okay. What is it you need to do to straighten your life out?
Fix my anger problem.
How are you gonna do that?
Whatever program I can get into, I just focus on staying calm.
What?
Getting into a program whenever I go down back to prison, and then I just need to work on staying calm and not doing impulsive thinking.
So you've been smoking pot every day since you were 9 years old?
Not every day, no.
How often?
Like once or twice a week,
And why do you do that?
because it was around.
Huh?
Because it was around.
Because it was around. Where were you living in Cleveland?
Garfield Heights and Harvard.
Why were you? Who were you living with?
One of my friends.
Who? Huh?
Gino.
Chino?
Yeah, Gino.
Gino. Gino who?
Reynolds.
What does Gino Reynolds do? Nothing?
Works.
Why weren't you working during this time?
Well, I applied for jobs, but I never got applied.
You applied for jobs and what?
I just never got them.
Hey, where did you apply?
Taco Bell. I tried applying to Evergreen Laundry in Cleveland, and that's pretty much it.
Why didn't you get any of these jobs?
I don't know.
You don't know. They didn't tell you?
Never got a
Okay.
call back.
You don't like to talk, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm sitting here right now. I can give you 36 months in prison, which will have to be consecutive to whatever parole does to you. Or I can give you 9 months in prison, which would have to be consecutive to whatever parole gives you. Or I could put you on probation, Then you'd have to finish whatever parole does till you'd be on probation. Does any of that concern you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If it concerns you, then why aren't you talking about this stuff? When I ask you questions, all you tell me is 1 or 2 word answers. How long has it been since you had a regular job, not this DoorDash crap?
I never had a job.
Okay, why not?
I've been in the system since I was 15.
Okay, so now you're 20. So you've been in the system for 5 years right now, but not really 5 years, because you got out of prison November 27th of 23. So you were, how old were you when you got out? 18?
Yeah, 18.
You were 18 when you got out. So now we're about 21 months later, 20 months later. Do you consider yourself to still be in the system because you're on parole?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how are you gonna get yourself out of the system?
Changing who I hang around with.
What? You gotta talk, okay?
Changing who I hang around with, and just staying out of Cleveland, because that's where I tend to fall into my bad activities.
All right, well, you were in Painesville when this happened, so it isn't Cleveland.
Just doing what I know is right,
What is right?
not doing what I'm supposed to do,
What?
doing what I'm not supposed to do, so staying away from that, and just focusing on my family.
Okay, how do you focus on them? What do you mean focus on them?
Instead of just having nothing to do, when I have a job, I'm gonna be taking care of my son, making sure he has whatever he needs. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I never had nothing to live for until I had him.
Okay, so what was your interaction with your father?
What do you mean?
What I mean is, what was your interaction with your father when you were a kid?
I never had one.
Okay. Why is your last name Howler?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
When did it change from Blade?
It never did.
Is Camber Blade your father?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When's the last time you saw him?
I think when I was 15,
Where?
they sent me to his house on house arrest.
They what?
They sent me to his house on house arrest
Where did he live?
in Ashtabula.
So what was your interaction with him while you were living there?
He was using drugs, so I just cut off my ankle monitor and left.
And left?
Yeah.
And what about your mother? Why were you placed with your father on house arrest instead of your mother?
Because she didn't want me.
Huh?
She didn't want me.
What about this Savachka guy?
It's my
What's his
sister.
story?
He's a drunk, and he's been around since I was like 3.
All right, so you've had exactly 0 parental figures to kind of see what it's like to be a parent, right? And an adult, right? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about your sister? Zoe. What's her story?
She was always the good child.
What? You gotta talk, man. You gotta talk louder.
She was always the good child. She always did everything right. She basically took care of me and my brother growing up. And now she has a daughter.
Okay? So, was her relationship with your mother and father and stepfather any better than yours?
Yes, sir.
How was it better?
She just never had any problems with him.
So were they only shitty parents to you and not her?
Basically what it felt like.
Okay. So how are you going to conduct yourself so this pattern doesn't repeat itself with your son?
Because I know how it feels to not have a good father figure or parents at all. And I don't want him to have that. I plan on doing every program I can to change my way of thinking and the actions that I choose to make so I can better myself for him and myself.
Do you believe anything you're saying?
Yes, sir.
I can't really tell that because you're about as flat as they come. Or you're just not really interested in this. So one of your statements you made in your psychological report is you'd rather be on parole than probation. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
Because I'm already on parole, and it wouldn't make sense to do probation and parole.
So when you got on parole in November of '23, what has your contact been with your parole officer?
Every week, once a week.
What kind of contact?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, do you go to the parole officer's office?
I went there once, and then she would come to me
Okay. Where's the office?
downtown.
And then, how often does she come to see you?
Once every week.
Okay, why was she coming to see you? When she came to see you, what did you guys talk about?
Daily checkups.
Daily checkups, what does that mean?
Like seeing if I got in any contact with police or if anything happened.
Okay. What kind of, does she steer you to any programs that could help you get your shit together or not?
Yeah, she gave me multiple programs for work. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, did you do anything with that?
Yeah, I went to a program called Towards Employment.
Called what?
Towards Employment.
What does that mean? What is it?
It's a program to help you to get a job.
It didn't help you get a job though, right?
It did, yeah. But then I broke my hand. Then I just never had a job after that.
How'd you break your hand?
I fell.
What kind of job is it you want to get when you get a job? Doing what type of work?
Landscaping or construction.
Okay. What kind of construction?
Carpentry.
Have you ever done any carpentry?
No, not for real.
How does one become a carpenter such that they can make a living from it?
Join a union.
Okay. Well, you can't just join a union and they're going to give you a hammer and some nails, okay? You got to know what the hell you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you going to figure that out?
I thought unions help you learn that kind of stuff.
Okay. So your son is what, 8 months old?
7 months.
7 months old? And you could very well be gone until he's 5 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how is that benefiting him?
It's not.
Do you think when he's 20, he's gonna be sitting where you're sitting?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I'm going to give him a life that I never had.
Okay. You know, you just can't say you're gonna give him a life that you never had, and it's gonna happen. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Saronic?
Thank you, Your Honor. Reviewing the defendant's criminal history, since about 2021, the defendant has been either committing violent or dangerous crimes. He has an F3 burglary in 2021 in which he completed the intensive community rehabilitation program with the juvenile court system. The following year in 2022, he had an F4 assault and then an F3 escape, both within about a month of each other, for which he was sentenced to DYS. While he was in DYS, he committed an F3 assault the following year, for which he was sentenced to prison. And then when he was released from prison, he completed this offense. The state thinks that based on this history and the fact that, you know, since 2021, he's basically been engaged in the same kind of activity, that he's not amenable to community control. The state is recommending that the court impose a prison sentence. Thank you.
Have you ever had a driver's license?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
Why not?
It's always been suspended.
And why are you driving if you didn't have a driver's license?
So I could get diapers and wipes.
What?
So I could get diapers and wipes.
Well, how long you been driving? Well, you've been driving well before you had to get diapers and wipes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you didn't concern yourself with having to get a license, you just drove anyway because you wanted to? Is that
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Do you intend to go through life just doing whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it because you want to?
No, sir.
When's the last time you talked to Zoe?
On Sunday.
What?
On Sunday.
Anybody diagnose you with any mental illness at all?
Yes, sir.
What?
Anxiety, depression, and PTSD.
Were you ever put on any medication for that?
Yeah.
Did you take the medication?
Yes, sir.
Always?
Yes, sir.
Who prescribed it for you? Which doctor? What agency?
I don't really know the agency, but I was in DYS when I got it prescribed.
right, I've looked at the pre-sentence report and the psychological evaluation. Considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. It's not going to start till after you are released from prison, if you are sent to prison on your parole violation. Assuming you're sent to prison on that, when that prison sentence expires and you're going to be reconveyed back here, I'm going to give you a sentence, once that happens, of 220 days in a Lake County jail with credit for 158. The last 30 days you're going to be in the jail treatment program, complete it and follow the recommendations. And after you complete that, you're going to go to NeoCap and you're going to complete that program and follow the recommendations. No drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're to get a mental health evaluation and follow all the recommendations. You're to see only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for prescription medication. You're to take your medication as is prescribed. Sign releases so probation can get your records. Obtain and maintain full-time employment. Get a valid driver's license and pay the cost and supervision fees in this case. Anything else, Ms. Knaus, as far as terms?
Your Honor, the defendant expressed interest in obtaining a GED.
All right, you get your GED. Understand all the terms?
Yes, sir.
Any question about the terms?
No, sir.
I'm also going to suspend your driver's license for 3 years. Effective January 19th of 2025. If you violate the terms, then the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. If it finds you violated, then I'll conclude you had no interest in any of this stuff that you just talked about, and I'll send you to prison for 36 months. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So, in your limited use of the English language, you told me that you want to change how you've been living since you were 9 years old, and you want to stop running in and out of prisons and jail cells. So we're going to find out if you actually want to do what you need to do in order to accomplish that, or you're just yakking at me. But I would suggest you can do whatever you want, but I would suggest you don't have any communication with your father, mother, or stepfather, and that you limit your communication of family members to your sister. But you can do what you want, and you can live however you want, okay? You can either take advantage of what's available, or you can just blow it off and continue to do what you've been doing for the last 10 years. Anything else, Ms. Horonic?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.